Most developers take about 3 months to ship an app, but I just shipped a full working production ready software in about 10 days. And I'm going to walk you through every single thing that I had to do to make this a success, because it was hell, I promise you. If you've ever tried building an app and you realized halfway through that your architecture was garbage, or you'll get stuck on deployment problems, or whatever technical challenge that you have at all, then this video is for you. But before I go on to show you everything that I did on this project, I want you to understand the importance of this app that I built. So if you've ever been in the fitness industry, you've been a coach, you have a friend who is a coach, or you've even been a client to a coach, then you must have heard of this story where a fitness coach gets a client, they get them onboarded, they give them their fitness program in say 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. This client comes back complaining that they are not getting results. And now this coach is not sure if this client actually followed through or just enjoyed themselves all through the process and is coming back to complain. So what do? They are either faced with a refund or a bad review, and that leaves a bad taste on the business. And yes, they are existing to trying to solve this, but it's still required the coach having to reach out to this particular client manually, and there's no data that this coach could even use to track this client's behavior to know if they were actually even doing the work. And by the time they even reach out, this client had already given up mentally. And you know, when this happens, it's difficult to even get the client back on board. They want it back, or just want to like complain to you. So that is why I built this product. It's called Kinetic, and the whole idea is to combat this. Now imagine a system, a product that help you track the behavior of your client as a coach, and one that only gives you the exact time to intervene before this client mentally checks out. Imagine how valuable that is for your business. Yeah, that is what I'm going to walk you through. And I know you might not be a fitness coach watching this, but if you know any fitness coach, send them this video, because this app is for them actually. Before I go into the technical bits deeply, let me explain what I did at the different levels of the product. So first, when I started building, I had to make sure that the architecture was right, because I've seen many cases and been on teams where yes, there's a particular idea for the MVP, but before you know what's happening, there's scope creep. There's this next feature that is nice to add, and we keep adding and adding. Before you know what's happening, you've spent 1 year, 2 years, you still don't have any product to show off. So I had to make sure the architecture was right, and I did this with ChatGPT. Basically, you could look at, there's 2 other videos I'm going to link in my description, so you can go watch them to understand what your MVP should look like, so you don't have scope creep. And equally, how to generate a product required document that could help you start building with AI with clarity. Very important, clarity. So on the front end, I used ChatCN component library. I used Iconify plus a few custom icons that I did. I mean, I'm a designer, so even though I didn't do design heavy though, but I was able to build some mood board that I used to, at different areas. I just gave the agent the design I want and asked it to fix it. And of course, I used some prompt to correct a few things. Then on the back end, I used Vercel for hosting and Supabase as the database. And if you ask me why this combo, they work really well for any JavaScript project. They work really well, and they are secure as well. Vercel and Supabase, they are like chef kiss. Right. And Vercel deployment, yes, it's a few clicks, it's easy, but Jesus Christ, it's hell. I'm going to walk you through the problem I actually went through trying to fix this. Then for authentication, I used Clark. I didn't use the one for Supabase because I was trying to learn how Clark works. And Clark is actually exciting because of its UI. So, that helped a bit. I hope you cannot hear the sound in the background. They've been doing some construction in my apartment where I stay, and the sound has been crazy. But I don't want to post this video because I have to record this now and post it as soon as possible. So that's by the way. Finally, I'm sure you might be asking, how am I getting this information from the users? How are they transmitting their data, the lives they are living? I'll help the coach get better prediction on when these guys are about to quit. So in that case, we're supposed to use Terra, but Terra is pricey, so we had to leave that out. We just had to use Strava. Strava is the only one that is accessible right now. But of course, if we're going to push this to the markets and start getting people to use the product, definitely we have to get the Terra API, because That's what we're supposed to use to get the data in its cleanest form. You have to learn to be flexible as much as possible. Some APIs might not work and some libraries might not work. You have to learn to do your research and figure out what works best for what you're trying to build. So that being said, let's get our hands dirty. One of the biggest challenge I had was deploying Jesus Christ. After building on the local storage, I had to now push to GitHub. Then, once you're on GitHub, it's easier to just with one click push to Vercel. It can even auto push itself, but there was a problem. I was having a few challenges with deployment, and one of them was by environmental variables. And what are these environmental variables? They are just your keys and your URLs that connect some of the tech stacks that you've used. Like you can see here, recent API key, the Clark, which is, you know what Clark is now. The Clark is the tool I use for authentication. Recent is one I use for my email. You can see the next public Clark, still Clark, the URL, database URL, which is from Superbase, the next public Superbase. You can see all these keys here. All of this has to be complete. Now, they also have to be in your .env file as well, which I'm going to show you when I'm going through the code base. They have to be here before you can even. Then, of course, while you're doing this, you also have to be sure that you've pushed maybe your Clark from demo to live or to public rather, and also do some of the configurations on this application before you can do that. But one of the things you also realize is, yes, you're using AI to build this, but you don't want to be using the same AI agents you're using to build to do all these experiments. You want to use maybe ChatGPT or Claude. I prefer ChatGPT. And of course, to add an environment variable, you just click here. You're going to see the key and the value. So this is the key. This next public blah blah is the key. Then the value is this one that's hidden here. Right. So probably in my next build, I might just do a full video showing you how to do all these things without hiding some of these keys. But of course, when it's deployed, you get to see the data like this. Another thing too that was equally key was my database seeding. What database seeding is? Database seeding, this is just a script that you get to build for dashboard projects that requires users, existing users, for you to be able to explore the product. Which, for instance, let's go in here. Let's open the dashboard. I know I've not walked you through this, but I'm going to do that in a bit. As you can see on this dashboard, there are no data here. Everything is blank. You're not seeing anything. Now, this is where seeding comes into place. So your seed script is one that you create that has all the user information, their name, email, address, avatar, everything that can be populated into this platform for demo purposes. So that is what here's where scripts come in, and usually a TypeScript file. But it's not here. I cannot switch account directly on the platform right now because my Clark is still under development mode. I've not pushed it to public yet. So we're just going to use my email that has all these scripts populated. So you can populate them for an account only, which is what I did. So once you come in, you can now see all these data. So this is what seeding can do. You can see all this information. So I had to create all of this. I got the pictures, I got the names and everything, and just built the script. You can see how all of these are working so far. So while you're building, one of the things that you also get to see more often is your .env file, and because you always be referred to that place, go and add this token there, go and add this token there, go and add this API key. So it's just a file that contains all your keys and URLs and everything that basically plugs in your external information, your external applications or your external tools that is powering your products. The keys to these tools are stored in your .env file. I hope that makes sense. The next as well was my video compressor. I had to use Handbrake. Let me see if I can open that. Handbrake. So this is what it looks like. If you're building a product that requires video, like you notice, when I log out, you can see there this video. I had to compress it because it was too heavy, right? This onboarding video, I had to use Handbrake to compress it without losing its quality. So that is basically. Then also there are some files that you also want to create towards the end of your project. So you can even create them maybe at the start, but it's called the README files, the context files, and documentations. And the whole idea is that if for any reason you have to switch your agent, maybe you're out of the build credit, you have to switch to another AI tool, maybe to Codex, to Cloud Code, to Cursor, whatever. This context file or README file has the key structures, the key idea, the key points that would help this other AI to understand what you've been building and what it should have in mind while it's continuing the build. So it doesn't have to read through all your code, because the bigger your project gets, the more credit you consume for this AI model or agent to read through the whole code, and of course it's burning credits in that process. So you want to limit that by creating these other external files that all you have to do is just read this and understand what you're doing. Then you just read a few pages with this code to understand what is being done. So when I say I beat this in 10 days, you can see the amount of work that gets into this, because this doesn't just happen in one day. It's hectic, or it's easy if you understand the fundamentals. It's easy if you understand what to do and when to do it. Let me now walk you through the few so you see how we've gone through this. So the first thing, you can see Clark. This is what Clarks look like. You can sign up, create an account, or I'll just sign into the dashboard with the existing account that I've been using. All right, so here you go. So now we are now going to the dashboard. So I want you to actually take your time and understand everything that's happening here. So the first thing you get you're faced with is the dashboard. You can see the total client, average health score, who is at risk, how many people are at risk, and those who've been active this week. And you can see this dashboard where once you click, you don't just see the information of the particular person you clicked on, right? You can equally see how the performance have been over the week, what activity they've been doing, how many calories they've consumed, and you can see an AI already asking you, oh, Sarah Chen is maintaining consistency. Health score is stable. You can choose to check in. So let's try to check in. You can see edit the message, but please take your time. The reason why you're not seeing the card here for where to send is because this was created with seeding. So you're supposed to see different social media platforms or contact details that Sarah would have preferred you to reach her through. I'm going to show you how that will work in a bit. But of course, you can see all the clients here, what activity there. You can see walking, football, hiking, strength, calisthenics, and whatnot. Then, of course, let's see the dark mode. This is what dark mode looks like. And this is what notification looks like as well. You can go to clients, see the list of clients you have. You can check and update status, message them, or remove. Right. Then this is more information, view profile. I think that's each them via Instagram, WhatsApp, Twitter, what have you. Then of course you can go to alerts to see all the alerts, who is at risk. Zora is very good to go at this point. So you can extend to see what at least happening. Health score 34%. Session this week is only one out of 5. Last alert was this should not be 2 hours ago, probably a long time ago. You can see what we're talking about. Zola has been inactive for 4 days. Immediate reach out is needed. So you want to go ahead and reach out to Zola. You can message them here and type your message and send to Zola. Or you can just, if that is done, you can just check here and say, Zola's life has changed, right? This is your analytics for the money you're making from your business. So you can also track that here. You can refresh insight. You can export reports. It's taking time. So yeah, you can export, but then equally, you can see this dashboard. This is what you can see the AI summary below the table. Overall client health is up by 12% this month. 7 clients are currently flagged for intervention, primarily due to recent inactivity. Then when you click on a particular user, you can see what their score is, 81. You can see Dami Bush is maintaining consistency. Health score is stable. You can equally filter as you wish and all that. And of course, light mode equally works really well. And this is the revenue breakdown. Then of course, to settings and all that, you can edit, take this out, then save changes. Because right now changed, you can equally sign out, file information, change password, what have you, right? Everything works on this system. Equally hard to create the logo, so everything about it, I created it. Then under help, you can see everything about how the product works. This is what the coaches, so they understand how best to interact with their clients. So that's about it. If you want to test this product, let me know. I'm going to send you the link so you can create an account and test and let me know what you think. Or if you know any fitness coach that would like to work with this, then they can reach out to me and we can talk around what to do with the product. One more thing before I go, I'm going to show you how to add a client, how to invite a client. Let's do Elon. I want to invite Elon, and Elon uses the email hello, Bright Mark. So let's send invitation. Invite is sending. So invite has been sent. So we're going to go to the email. You can either copy the URL here as whatever, and be just send to the person directly on WhatsApp, or they equally still get it via an email. So let's go to the email. We're going to see this. Of course, complete your profile. Then once you're here to complete your profile, because you can see Bright Mark, which is the coach, myself. You can say, hey Elon, I'm Bright Mark. Let's get you to set up so we can start crushing your goals together. Check it, you get. Then equally you can do light mode, whichever one you want. It's cool. Then let's go. You can add photo. Let's Elon add their photo. Let's just add this one here. Then you can say Elon Joe. The next step, you can choose how you want to be connected, how you want to be reached. Now, this is the flow for the clients. So when a coach adds a client on the admin, the client will get an email, or the coach just copies the URL, the unique URL, and send to the client for them to onboard or get onboarded. Or, of course, the client will go to their email and get the URL, click, then follow this process to set up their account for tracking or for follow-up, whatever it is. Then, of course, Twitter, email, but we're just going to put the number here. It's 146257278. So then continue. So once you can connect your app, then of course finish onboarding. It's going to take a bit to load. Let me go to light mode. Voila, you can celebrate as much as you want. But yeah, that's how you set up. Then once that is done, the coach can now start tracking the user. So you can come to the dashboard to see that user that we've added. The name is Elon, right? So let's look for Elon Joe. So this is Elon Joe. Elon Joe is just starting, and yeah, so that's about it. That's about it. If you have any question, I would like to use the product, just let me know. Let's see if we can find Elon. So this is Elon. That's exactly how I went from 0 to a shipped app in about 10 days. But here's the thing, when I'm building my next product, there is one thing I will do differently to cut my build time into half. And here it is. I'm going to use a second or a third anti-gravity account, because yes, these tokens get burnt out fast. We asked to wait for 1 more week, and I didn't know I could actually use another account and still continue building without any obstruction. Right till I was stuck one day. I had to just think outside the box and figured, oh, let me try this, and it worked perfectly well. The code remains intact. I could still push to GitHub with either of them. So I'm just gonna use maybe a second, or I have a second now. It took me a while, but I have a second now. I'm gonna use a third one to make sure I don't stop building. And another thing too is, don't use your agent for your research. Use a different AI tool for your research, because you don't want to burn these tokens. You have more things to do. And I'm sure I already mentioned the other ones, the architecture, the design and whatnot. Make sure you know what you're expecting. And if you're a designer, use your skill. Go and do the design yourself, and so you have something unique. That's the edge that you have. Design is important. So 2 things. If you're building something similar and you have any problem like myself, deployment, any technical problem at all, just drop me a comment, and I'll be happy to see what broke for you, and I'll be happy to talk about it in my next video and probably even help you personally. And finally, if you're building your SaaS product and you want to ship faster, then you want to follow and subscribe to my page, because I'm going to be documenting my process on how I've been building and everything I've been doing behind the scenes, to make sure that you don't make the same mistake that I am making, that might cost you even more, because security is important, time is important, and you want to protect your users and equally give them the better experience. Cheers.